God, I love the intro music.
I'm going to run over here.
Just run over here. It's in front of the camera. Don't worry.
Okay.
Hey, we're on autopilot today. Welcome to Talking Food. My name is Chef Carlo, and this is the awesome, the only one, the man that makes this happen.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about right
Yeah,
there.
Mr. Andrew Small.
Man.
Woo.
Thank you.
I just cook here. You're the one that makes this stuff
Yeah,
happen.
but it's your show, baby. Yeah, I just turn the buttons and make
Oh,
it.
you just set up the lights and
You know.
that's just the location and have to deal with the buses
That's
and it's
right.
like and the liability. I just come here and try.
Just in case we kill somebody on the show.
Hey, I just
all
come
good.
here and try to burn stuff down.
Oh, that's what.
Thank God the other word didn't
We've
come
tried
out.
that.
We have done it actually. We have a full
have.
episode. We have a full short circuit, the smoke, and it was
Yeah,
amazing.
it was great.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, polenta. We need to
Polenta
set
of what?
Polenta. Polenta is a meal.
It is.
It is a meal like you eat, el mangiare.
Yeah, the mangiare.
Yes, polenta is made out of corn. And we
Corn.
need to set the record straight because I've been to plenty restaurants and plenty people like, oh, this is polenta. And where's the polenta? You're eating it. That's liquid.
That's not polenta.
That's not polenta.
That's cornmeal and water.
And actually, I was trying to have a conversation with a chef up in a beautiful city in the mountains, and we were talking about the whole. On the menu, they bring me this beautiful lamb dish. It's supposed to have polenta. I'm still looking for it, and no, polenta is a sauce. And I'm like, no,
No,
it's
not a sauce.
not a sauce. Now, there's different kinds of polenta. It's basically set how thick you grind your grain.
Mm-hmm.
For today's show, I have chosen to use, actually, we've gone local.
Good.
We are using plain yellow cornmeal. It's yellow corn. I like polenta made with yellow corn. It can be made with white corn. I like mine with yellow corn. That's how I grew up in Italy. That's where I'm from, and that's where polenta is from. So I might know a couple of things about polenta.
Just a good. And shout out to Kittrell, North Carolina, the Buffalo Milling Company.
Yep, Buffalo Milling Company, Kittrell, North Carolina. I like their flour because it's nice and thin. It's ground nice and thin, so it's gonna cook quick. As you know, our show is only
13 minutes.
so we gotta make it happen. So, yeah, you wanna get it closer to the camera?
Yeah, man, I'll take that over, and you can see how nice. Look at the picture
It's nice,
picture here.
finely ground, and you can also find part of the bran in there. You can find. I love the quality of this polenta. Now, a recipe for polenta. Usually, I go by eyesight. I start adding the polenta into the water, and I will stop when I judge that the polenta is ready and with the proper thickness.
Is it kind of like making grits?
It is like making grits. Mm-hmm. Grits have a lot of water, and if exactly a way to describe polenta, it's Italian grits.
There you
with
go.
less water, with the consistency of mashed potatoes.
Oh, nice.
Now, when polenta cools off, look, let me start with the polenta here. Hold on. So, here in the kitchens at school, I came up with a very easy ratio: 1 to 3. 1 cup of cornmeal to
3 parts water.
3 parts of water. That's it. Now, water doesn't come seasoned, right?
Nope. Water never comes seasoned
Nah.
unless you live in Michigan.
Is it special water over there?
Yeah, it's special. It's dangerous and
So-
terrible for you.
Little bit of salt. That's it. That's all you need a polenta. But you know what? Since we can, I like to spike mine with a little bit of chicken stock, just to give it an
You
extra
said the word
kick.
spike, and I was hoping whiskey was in there somewhere. but no.
Not yet. I have not developed a way to make polenta with whiskey. So, give it a good whisk. But what about if I don't have chicken stock? What about if, listen, corn, if it is fresh, it's gonna has its own taste. That's it. So a little bit of salt in the water because you gotta have salt. Some people add pepper. I don't like to add pepper on my polenta because the polenta is a vessel. It's like rice in the Asian culture or noodles. It's something to transfer the flavor. You will put there on top of it something with sauce, with a stew that will embrace the polenta.
Yes.
Now, since this bad boy is nice and thin, it will cook in 5 minutes.
Good.
Get ready to talk about something else because this show is like,
We can always cut it early if we have to.
not really, but there's another hurricane coming your way.
Yeah, true.
I have a good friend of mine that owns a restaurant in St. Martin, and he lost. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just. So boiling water, just add your polenta and stir. That's it.
A little bit at a time?
A little bit at a time.
Bam! We're gonna add all of it, baby.
Don't worry if it starts clumping up, it will dissolve. Now, I start cooking my polenta, and sometimes the polenta might be a little bit wet before they milled it, and it might need adjustment. Right now, I think our polenta will need a little bit more flour. So as soon as you get it in there, it's gonna start boiling. Be careful, because one is super thick, it will start boiling and it might splatter you.
It is kicking.
It is kicking already. The density will change. The corn is gonna start absorbing.
I'm gonna move this camera there, chef, so we can get a nice good close up.
Oh, thank you, thank you. See, that's why we have you here, not just for production purposes. So I'm gonna get my polenta to about medium heat. And you can see it's already starting to absorb, it's starting to become thick. But I'm from Northern Italy, we like it thick up there. I'm gonna adjust it with a little bit more flour.
Because you're trying to make it like mashed potatoes, so it
has to, see, the easiest way that I can explain it is I wanted the consistency of mashed potatoes. Now, the beautiful thing about polenta is when it cools off, it becomes hard that you can slice it. Now, you can put it in a nice saute pan and saute it until golden brown.
Oh! What do you make out of that? What happens when it gets golden brown? Does it harden up? Is it almost like a...
It hardens up. See, that's the consistency you want to get.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's it. And we're gonna let it sit here for about 5 minutes until the corn is completely cooked. So when it's nice and cold, I like to cut it even into batonette style, like French fry style, and deep fry it. You can make polenta fries.
Oh.
Nothing wrong with that. When it hardens, you can change it into shapes, and you can saute it in, of course, butter.
Butter.
Clarified butter.
Bacon. Bacon grease.
That's sure.
You can fry it in bacon grease?
You can fry in bacon grease. So I use my whisk to start the polenta, and then
you switch to a spatula.
I switch to a
spatula.
Keep it off the sides. Because at this point, it has to be set at medium heat. And the polenta the grains are so fine, that it's gonna cook in no time.
Nice.
Now, there's always something good that I like to add to the polenta, even though you don't have to. Butter. But not yet. Now,
but not yet.
Northern Italy, they add a little bit of oil to the polenta.
What kind of oil?
Olive oil.
What kind of oil? Sorry, not what kind of aisle.
You said oil.
I don't know where it was a derivative of the word
said
oil. It was
I heard you.
Kind of oil.
I heard you. Little bit of oil, so it gives them it gives the polenta shininess. And of course, the king of all kings, of all fats, butter.
A little bit of fat. So we got three tablespoons. I'm going to stop talking right now because I can't evidently get words out.
Have you had your coffee today?
I have, but not enough to navigate my...
It's hot in here today.
It is warm in here.
It's okay. So, like I was telling you before, I have a friend in the island of St. Martin. He lost his restaurant. He lost the whole thing. He lost a little bit of water. It might get a little thick. He lost everything. His house, his restaurant. Winds were about 180 miles per hour.
Now, was this Hurricane Irma, or
yes.
This is Irma?
This is Irma, the one that just went by. And now Maria is on the way. Maria is going to be really interesting. But anyhow, back to...
So is he, I'm sorry, is he going to rebuild?
Well, as everything, you're going to rebuild.
Right.
Even here we have the tornadoes and the Tornado Alley up in, where is it, Kansas?
Yep, Tornado Alley, Oklahoma, top of Oklahoma, Kansas.
OKC, Kansas. Every time there's a tornado and it rips through a neighborhood, what do?
Rebuild.
You're going to move?
Nope.
Well, go and rebuild.
No matter where you go, you're going to end up with something. Hurricanes on this side, earthquakes on the other side.
Listen, we're blessed here in North Carolina that we got it safe here. So, polenta, it's getting nice, it's getting thick. I like to mix it. The more I mix it, I believe the more shiny it gets. It has a better appearance. So we're gonna leave it there, medium heat, cooking. Needs a little salt.
Needs a little more salt?
A little more salt.
Now, did you make this in class?
Actually, my baking students made that yesterday.
That's really nice. I'm sorry, I don't mean to change the subject
No,
there, but
it's
that's,
okay.
I noticed when you brought them in, they're beautiful braids.
My baking students made that yesterday, and I mean, those are the better, the better strands of them, and they are fantastic. Just so I brought a couple of them so we can showcase what we do in our baking program here.
Absolutely. If you are interested in joining the culinary program here at Nash Community College, you can always check out our website, nashcc.edu, where we do have a full degree in culinary. We also have a degree in brewing, and we also have continuing education classes with Chef Frank.
And brewing, baby, we have a distillation program.
We do.
Not only brewing, distillation program. So let's go talk about back on polenta.
Oh, polenta.
Yeah, this is the star of the show. Okay. So the larger the grains, the more you have to cook it. Now, do not be afraid once you go with the 1-to-3 ratio. Once the grains are larger, as you start cooking it and it looks too liquid, leave it as is. Trust the ratios, 1-to-3.
Right.
But wait, Chef Carlo, you just added some polenta, some flour in your pot to adjust it. What happened? Well, I was running late this morning from the traffic from Raleigh, and I just didn't measure the water properly. There was probably a little bit more water, but we have tested here at school 1-to-3 ratio. Even if it looks soupy, let it sit. The corn is gonna slowly cook and absorb all the water from there. I like the one, and you can make polenta with any kind of cornmeal. It doesn't matter how thick is grounded or how thin is grounded. Couple of honorable mentions. You don't need to go buy, I'm sorry.
What? Don't be sorry for adding the butter.
I'm sorry. It's like.
That's like being sorry for cooking bacon. Nobody's sorry for cooking bacon.
I know. It's just, I was doing healthy cooking seminars the other week, and I'm like.
See, and now you have this show where we don't worry about too much about healthy. We do worry about healthy cooking, but butter
Listen,
is so awesome.
We need fat. We have had this war against fat, propaganda be placed on us, but I'm sorry, we need fat. And there is a whole study made, and I'm going to pull it out somewhere, that going back to Italy and the old world, I mean, heavy cheeses and camembert and heavy oils and butter, and everybody's like this. So your body needs fat.
They also didn't have television or games or things
Wait,
to play with.
They still
actually
have TV.
worked. They walked places.
They still walk places. That has an end.
I am not arguing with you. I'm all about a little bit of fat in my polenta.
So this is the moment that you're going to decide how thick you want the polenta. I like it.
Mashed potato thick.
Look at that.
Sticking to the fork or the spatula.
That's perfect.
Boom.
Now, when it's like this, I like to put it in a square container. So what I do is, at home, I put it in a Pirates. At the restaurant or here at school, I put it in a rectangular or a square hotel pan, a little bit of oil, put all my polenta in there, and let it sit until it solidifies, and you can cut it in shapes. You can deep fry it, you can saute it. My mom's favorite, she dices it, fries onions,
Yeah.
and then fries a little bit of onions, and then add it to the polenta.
Nice.
So they saute polenta in butter. Nothing wrong with that.
No, definitely not.
Well, just to give you, what can you use this for? I always get asked that question. Oh, what can you add it for? Serve it with anything, stews. What about if you want to make a bolognese sauce for pasta, but you don't feel like serving pasta? You can serve it on top of your polenta.
It's a nice twist.
It's a nice twist. Now, polenta pasticciata. Basically, you take the polenta and you layer a dish with polenta, ham and cheese sauce, tomato sauce, polenta, ham and cheese sauce, and you layer the polenta, you put it in the oven. It's almost like a lasagna,
Right,
but
but
the
with
layers are made with polenta. Polenta
That
pasticciata.
sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've done a couple of times.
Just a couple times.
So I decided today to serve a polenta with a little stew. Little delicious stew. So I was playing yesterday in the kitchen. We had some mushrooms. We have some herbs from the garden. So I'm like, oh my God, this will be delicious with a little
Stew.
Now, stews not only they're going to be delicious with the stew. We also use the beer from the beer making process here at National Community College to
Nice.
make this stew. So I just started a regular stew, and then to the glaze, instead of using wine, I use a beer, a nice brown English ale.
Nice.
With a little bit of hops.
Right.
So I like bitter, so as it's reducing the beer, it gives a little bit of bitterness to the stew. Yes. I like it.
Yes.
Now, here's the trick. Most stews are going to be dark,
Right.
right? Because we're going to roast. It's going to be like this, right? Da, 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 da. So I like to add veggies to it. So you add the mushrooms. Mushrooms are white. But here's a little trick that I have. Whenever you have a stew, you want to bring some live color in it.
Okay.
I'm going to add my carrots and my celery, and I'm going to cook them in salted water on the side, and I'm going to add it at the last minute to the stew.
Okay. That way it is cooked, you still maintain the flavors, and you get a little bit of color to your stew.
It's still cooked, it's still nice, it's still going to have a nice nutritional value.
That smells so good.
But, well, thank you. That's the smoking machine that I was
No,
smoking.
it's not. It's you're smoking. They're smoking things in the culinary department. He walked in here. We were like, "What smells amazing?"
I was walking around. It's like, Chef Carlo, you smell amazing. No, I took a shower. No, we're smoking trail mixes. We're smoking sausages in the kitchen. So I smell
like smoked sausage,
like smoked.
which is my favorite cologne.
Let me tell you, if garlic was socially like acceptable to wear, I'll be wearing garlic cologne the whole day with a little bit of a smoke.
So tell us what's in the stew.
Regular chuck. I sear the chuck, and then I sear the chuck, get it nice and brown. Add the mirepoix in there.
Right.
Just a little bit of mirepoix. Cook it. Mirepoix is onions, garlic, onions, cilantro.
Cilantro.
I'm going Latino. Latino mirepoix. Cilantro, onions, and garlic. That's Latino mirepoix.
You've told me a million times you can't. If you put cilantro in it, you can't call it mirepoix.
Can't call it
It's
mirepoix.
called cilantro.
Sofrito.
Sofrito.
It's called sofrito.
Oh, I learned something new.
Sofrito, yes.
And you did too.
It's the Latino mirepoix. So, so mirepoix, onions, carrots, celery, just a little bit. Then I took the tomato paste and I cooked it almost to a brown, so the natural sugars in the tomato can develop there. Then I added the beer, 1 pint of English ale.
Nice.
Oh yeah, reduced it. Then added back to the meat.
Just 1 pint. Didn't you get another pint for yourself?
We're in school grounds.
Oh, okay.
We can't
That'd be
drink.
you at home can pour 2 pints, add 1 pint to the stew, and then 1 pint for yourself.
We can't do that here. It's cold work. People might frown upon that.
Yes, they would. They would frown.
We don't do that.
No. I don't even do that. We're lucky they allow us to have a show.
I think they don't watch their show.
I don't think, no.
So, 2 quarts of
It's not
brown.
a bad thing, I think.
2 quarts of brown stock, which we made here at school. I let it braise for about 3 hours. Cook the veggies on the side, and then there is something I've been doing lately, and I think it's fun. It's to add what I call a little bit of. I call it zucchini pasta or carrot pasta.
Okay.
So basically, I just take a carrot, peel the carrot, and I was going to give a demo on how to peel the carrot because it's been interesting lately. Especially our broccoli video has 7,000 views.
Yes, I know.
I'm like, okay. So somebody asked me, how do you peel a carrot? Okay, no problem. Take a carrot. There's a peeler. It has 2 sides actually. You can go back and forth, and he peels your carrot. That's it. But I like to go back and forth. Now, here's the best thing. What happens if you keep peeling, but there is no skin?
You get nice shreds of wonderful carrot.
Yeah, and my daughter, that she's turning vegetarian.
I'm sorry for your loss. There's nothing wrong with vegetarian.
I know. We just like the meat.
Hey, look at it this way. It's more bacon for you.
It's always more meat for me and the boys in the house.
That's right.
That's her choice, and I'm gonna support her
Absolutely.
anytime I can. So look at that. The more you run this, now you can make this You don't need that expensive veggetti.
It's almost like a little garnish, isn't it?
It is a little garnish. Now you have the choice of taking this, saute it in butter, and add it on top of your stew, or just do it like that.
Exactly. Nice and fresh. Just drop it on top.
So I like to do
Couple
this.
of flat parsley leaves. Boom.
Absolutely. So I like to do that with. I like to do that with a little bit of butter, or just vegetable oil, and use that as pasta.
Nice.
And then you can serve the stew on top of that. Not only that,
And that's a big thing right now is the zucchini pastas, the cauliflower rice.
cauliflower rice it's big. It's actually really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we might have to do that one day. But gives it a little fresh, and also gives it a crunch to whatever you put that on top. You can also quick pickle them in vinegar and put them into sandwiches.
Okay.
Parsley,
Ooh, pickled carrots.
pickled carrots. Goes great on your Vietnamese banh mi sandwich, or in any sandwich that you want to add a little bit of tang. And fresh parsley has never killed nobody. And I love especially my Italian parsley, especially chopped at the last minute.
I love that smell.
It's always good. You can do also this with zucchini. You can do that with rutabagas.
Right? Squash?
Rutabaga.
No, but you can do it with squash.
Butternut
Yellow
squash.
Butternut squash. Oh, butternut squash would be good.
You can do that with butternut squash. You have to peel the butternut squash and then just start peeling. Butternut squash is going to be nice and hard. That one you need to cook a little bit. Yes, there's people that eat raw butternut squash.
Right.
And I've tried it raw. It's okay. I'm just not a big fan of raw butternut squash. That's all I can tell you.
That's true.
So we add the carrots, we bring everything to temperature. That's the way it's going to look. We're going to show you in a moment. Now, it's time to plate.
All right.
Our polenta is beautifully,
Want to use a square plate?
of course. Our polenta is awaiting for the arrival of the stew.
It is literally waiting. It is.
Oh, it is waiting.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. It's waiting.
It's sitting there on the side
Yes.
because we need to be sympathetic here. Now we're gonna set the stew on a side.
Okay.
And we're going to put it on a towel so it doesn't burn our beautiful table, because otherwise Linda, the manager,
She will kill us.
she will kill us. And I'm afraid of that
She
lady.
always is so nice to let me borrow tablecloths, and I'd hate to burn that bridge.
And well, so for people that are not from Nash Community College, who is Linda? Linda is this wonderful, lovely lady that runs the convention center here.
Yes.
And she lets us borrow all the tables and all the tablecloths and everything that you see here.
Absolutely.
So we always gotta help her. So,
Polenta.
polenta, your creamy polenta right in the center. And at this
So
point,
tempting to go.
no. And there's some chefs that put it in a piping bag and they pipe it.
Ooh,
I just like it. Give it
that's a little too fancy, isn't it?
I will hold a little bit more sauce.
Okay. Add a little stew.
Stew. There you go. Look at that, how fancy.
That's good.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to cover the polenta.
No, okay. You
You
know
said
what?
the polenta is the star of the show, not the stew.
Polenta is the star of the show. You know what? You're right. Now, why don't you add a little bit of parsley on top of it?
All right. Actually, I was going to do this.
Oh, look at that.
Get a little crossways going. Do a bit of that.
Wow. Are you getting free culinary classes somewhere?
I am from you every Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
Now, if you really want to, and you don't have to, but you can finish it up with
You're going to
a
finish
little
that. I want to get the camera and we'll get a nice close up of
a
that.
little bit of olive oil on top. And so don't forget your ratios for your polenta. 1 cup of flour to 3 cups of 1 cup of flour to 3 cups of water. Please don't forget, if at the beginning starts looking watery, let it cook. Let the polenta absorb all the water. Let it cook, and then adjust your polenta. You can make it super creamy by just adding more water. You don't need to add tons of butter. Just a couple of tablespoons of butter will do the trick. It's almost like making risotto. The more you stir it, the more creamy you get. Add some more, no, not almost like risotto. Risotto is more like, yeah, it gets
Yeah,
creamy.
the risotto's a little more creamier than what you want. And this looks absolutely beautiful.
Yes. And now you can do this with steak.
Yes.
Now, what can you season polenta with?
Roasted garlic.
Just add, right now, you can add roasted garlic. What about blue cheese?
I wasn't even going there. I was thinking, wow.
So this is a vessel, remember? Or just try it like this. It's very simple.
Yep.
It's a vessel. It carries stuff around. Now,
man, you put some blue cheese in there. Now we're talking.
I remember back in culinary school years ago, one of our chefs was making polenta. He added duck into the polenta with the duck fat. Ooh. He just went to town to it. Duck, he sauteed the duck breast, cut it and diced it, and then the same cooking fat from the polenta, once the polenta was ready, he added there, emulsified the whole thing, and served it like that.
Wow. So it's duck polenta.
It's duck polenta. Do you want to do Italian sausage polenta?
Yes. Are you asking me questions? I'm like, yes, of course I do.
Well, you know what?
you
can surely add all of this to instead of the polenta.
Absolutely.
And just season it. You can add black truffles if you have that kind of budget.
We don't.
One of my favorite things that I do at home is I like to add blue cheese into the polenta and serve it with steak.
There you go.
Or serve it with, I like to add roasted garlic and little bit of apple sauce.
Nice.
Into it, and I use that as the base for pork loin.
Ooh. Pork loin. Sliced thin on top? Or?
You know what? Whichever way you want to go. You can take the whole pork loin, roast it, or I like to take my pork loin, cut it in steak, and grill it on a really, really hot grill.
Right.
Because I eat my pork a little bit pink in the center.
I do too.
I'm not going to die.
No, you're not.
Nobody's going to die. A little bit pink in the center. The thing with pork is so lean, if you overcook it, it will become dry.
Yes, and chewy like a
chewy.
shoe.
So I like to do my pork on the grill, high heat, and then my polenta. I take some blue cheese, applesauce, so it gives it that tanginess. You can even go crazy and add a little bit of vinegar, and serve, and then you can serve.
My apologies, that is my stomach rumbling.
Well, we're gonna have a snack soon. We're gonna have a really good snack soon.
Great.
And you can use about anything to garnish your stew, and that's another. I like more parsley like that. Make it rain.
Rain parsley.
Make it rain parsley. There you go.
And there you go.
Now it's the way I like it.
Polenta and stew.
Polenta and stew.
Easy, and we did it. Well, we didn't do the stew. The stew takes a little bit of time to make.
The stew took about
3 hours.
Half my baking class
you
last night.
You can do it on a weekend. You're sitting there, you're watching football, just set your stew aside, let it.
You want to use chili?
Cook. Absolutely.
You can use chili with polenta instead of using rice. When I do my chili, I like to have rice with it. There's nothing that says that you cannot use polenta for your chili.
Very true. Well, there you go, polenta, which is Italian
grits.
Italian grits.
Let's call it Italian grits.
Italian grits.
And the most important thing to remember is the ratio. 1 cup of flour to 3 cups of liquid. I've been asked also if you can do it with milk. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Stock.
Yeah, stock is number 1, but plain water will just work fantastic.
Especially if you're putting something on top, it doesn't kill whatever you're putting on top or mixing in. It becomes kind of a neutral base.
Okay, keep talking because I'm
going to keep talking. Well, thanks again for joining us for Talking Food with Chef Carlo. And
this is the awesome Andrew. And please, if you have any questions, shoot us an email, leave a comment, check out our website, NCC Culinary on YouTube. You want to check the continuing education program.
Absolutely.
You can also do it on our website. If you live around here, you want to come say hi and stand out there, hey, we'll feed you.
We will. If you stand out behind us, we will feed you.
And you can bring a lawn chair, put it right there. If you stand right there, we'll feed you.
We're on from 10 to 10:30 every Tuesday, so drop on by. We'll be happy to let you sample any of the stuff that we got, if you can beat IT to it, because they always show up, and we actually invite them.
I don't know if we're going to open some floodgates here. There's going to be 300
That's
people.
Great. I would love 300 people hanging out with us. Once again, thank you again for watching Talking Food. Next week, we are doing
clam chowder.
Making some chowder because it's almost time for the fall.
It's almost time for the fall. I think we have just a couple of days left of summer.
We do.
And we were just talking about clam chowder and clamming and chowdering. It's like, it's going to be clam chowder time.
Clam chowder next week. Check us out next week, Tuesday at 10 o'clock. I'm going to go switch this off.
Oh,
Say goodbye, Chef.
I will say, guys, thank you very much for seeing us. Have a great day. Remember, any questions, shoot us an email. Thank you.